The wait is over. After months of preparation, weeks of speculation, days of anticipation, and hours of a nation holding its collective breath, the 2026 World Baseball Classic has officially arrived. And Samurai Japan's journey toward a second consecutive championship begins tonight against a Taiwan team that has spent every single day since the 2023 tournament preparing for exactly this moment. Do not let the excitement of the occasion fool you into underestimating what is at stake in this opening game. This is not a warm-up. This is not a formality. This is not the kind of game where the favorite simply shows up, flexes their talent, and walks away with an easy victory before the real competition begins. In WBC history, opening games have broken spirits, ended championship dreams before they even started, and produced upsets that permanently altered the tournament's narrative. Every team in this bracket understands that truth. And Taiwan, disciplined, motivated, deeply prepared, and carrying the burning desire to prove themselves against the best Japan has to offer, understands it better than anyone. Samurai Japan arrives as defending champions. Taiwan arrives as hungry challengers with a point to prove. When those two forces collide tonight, the 2026 World Baseball Classic will announce itself to the world in the most dramatic way possible. According to reports from Japanese sports media outlets covering Samurai Japan's final pre-tournament preparations, the mood inside the Japan camp on the morning of March 5th was described as focused, calm, and quietly electric. Not the nervous energy of a team uncertain about its preparation. The sharp, controlled intensity of a team that knows exactly what it has done to get ready and is simply waiting for permission to show the world. Manager Hideki Koriyama, who guided Japan to their memorable 2023 championship, has spent months constructing a roster that balances star power with the kind of deep professional experience that WBC competition demands. The names at the top of Japan's lineup command global attention. But Koriyama's genius has always been in how he builds around those names, filling every roster spot with purpose, ensuring that when the inevitable challenges arise during a tournament, Japan never reaches a moment where they are forced to rely on talent alone. Japan's coaching staff confirmed the starting lineup for tonight's opener just hours before first pitch. The announcement, shared across Japanese social media platforms, generated immediate and overwhelming reaction from a nation that had been counting down to this moment since the final out of the 2023 WBC final. Yoshinobu Yamamoto gets the ball. Shohei Ohtani anchors the lineup. And Samurai Japan steps into the 2026 World Baseball Classic carrying the full weight of defending champions who refuse to treat that status as anything other than motivation to achieve it again. Before diving into Japan's preparation and what tonight means for Samurai Japan's championship aspirations, it is essential to understand exactly who is standing across the field tonight. Taiwan's national baseball program has undergone a significant transformation over the past several years. For too long, Taiwan was viewed as a competitive but ultimately limited participant in international baseball, capable of surprising moments but not consistently dangerous enough to threaten the elite programs. That perception has changed dramatically. The current generation of Taiwanese baseball talent includes players with genuine MLB experience, players who have performed at the highest levels of professional baseball in both Asia and North America, and a coaching staff that has studied international competition with extraordinary attention to detail. Taiwan entered WBC 2026 qualifying with a clear-eyed understanding of their strengths and a tactical approach designed to neutralize the advantages of more offensively gifted opponents. Their pitching, in particular, deserves serious attention. Taiwan's rotation features arms capable of generating uncomfortable at-bats against even the most disciplined lineups. Their pitchers work quickly, command multiple pitches in multiple zones, and have been specifically prepared to attack the weaknesses identified in Japan's offensive profile. This is not a staff that will simply try to survive. This is a staff that will attack. Defensively, Taiwan is exceptional. Their infield communication, outfield range management, and catcher-pitcher game calling represent some of the most refined defensive baseball in the international game. Against a Japan team that will manufacture runs through base running, situational hitting, and small ball execution, as much as pure power, Taiwan's defensive discipline could become the tournament's first genuinely critical storyline. A former international scouting director, speaking to a Japanese baseball publication ahead of the tournament, was direct in his assessment of tonight's matchup. People see Japan versus Taiwan and immediately assume Japan wins comfortably. That assumption is dangerous. Taiwan has prepared specifically for this game for 3 years. They are not coming to participate. They are coming to win. At the center of tonight's tactical chess match sits the most compelling individual storyline of the opening game. Yoshinobu Yamamoto facing a Taiwan lineup that has had every possible advantage of preparation time and scouting resources to figure out how to approach baseball's most dominant pitcher. The challenge facing Taiwan's hitters tonight is not simply about identifying Yamamoto's pitches or understanding his tendencies. Every serious baseball program at this level has extensive data on Yamamoto. Advanced analytics teams have broken down his release point, his spin rates, his pitch sequencing patterns, and his preferred approaches in different count situations. That information is available. The problem is that having information about Yamamoto and successfully executing against him are two entirely separate challenges. Yamamoto's fastball, which sits consistently between 96 and 99 miles per hour and touches triple digits in critical moments, is not just about velocity. The elite spin rate creates a riding action through the zone that disrupts timing in ways hitters describe as almost unfair. You can know intellectually that the ball will rise. You can remind yourself in the on-deck circle to adjust your swing plane accordingly. And then the pitch arrives and your body still reacts to what your eyes first see, which is not where the ball ends up. Taiwan's approach against Yamamoto will likely center on patience, pitch count management, and the disciplined refusal to expand the zone. If Taiwan's hitters can resist the natural instinct to attack Yamamoto's borderline pitches, work counts deep, and force him to throw strikes in hitter-friendly counts, they give themselves the best possible chance of creating traffic on the bases and generating the kind of single-run opportunities that can decide tight games. Whether they can execute that plan against a pitcher of Yamamoto's caliber, under tournament pressure, in front of a crowd energized by the electric atmosphere of WBC opening day, that is tonight's central question. Yamamoto himself addressed the challenge of facing tournament opponents with extensive preparation time in a pre-game media session. Every team is prepared. Every team has studied me. That is fine. I have studied myself too. I know what I need to do, and I trust my preparation. On the other side of the ball, Shohei Ohtani steps into WBC 2026 competition carrying the offensive expectations of an entire nation and the competitive hunger of a player who has described representing Japan as the most meaningful baseball experience of his career. Taiwan's pitching staff faces an impossible task in designing an approach to Ohtani. The analytics are clear and offer no comfortable solution. Attacking him in the zone risks catastrophic contact. Pitching around him loads the bases and fuels Japan's lineup behind him. Working the edges requires extraordinary command that must be maintained under the pressure of a WBC opening game, against a hitter whose discipline at the plate is among the best in all of baseball. Taiwan's most realistic path to containing Ohtani is not through any single pitch or location but through changing speeds aggressively and refusing to establish patterns that allow him to anticipate pitch type. Ohtani's greatest offensive asset beyond his physical tools is his ability to read pitcher tendencies and adjust mid-at-bat with a sophistication that most hitters spend entire careers trying to develop. If Taiwan's pitchers become predictable, even slightly, Ohtani will identify the pattern and punish it. Beyond Ohtani, Japan's lineup presents challenges at virtually every position. The combination of power threats, disciplined contact hitters, and versatile athletes capable of creating runs through base running and situational execution makes Japan's offense one of the most complete in international baseball. Taiwan's pitching staff cannot afford to navigate around Ohtani and then relax. The danger does not end when Ohtani's at-bat concludes. A veteran Japan lineup analyst noted ahead of the game, "The beauty of this Japan lineup is that there is no moment where the opposing pitcher can exhale. Every out requires full concentration. That kind of sustained pressure wears down pitching staffs over 9 innings in ways that do not always show up in early inning statistics. In WBC tournament structure, opening games carry consequences that extend far beyond the immediate win or loss. Pool play records determine seeding. Seeding determines matchup paths. And matchup paths, in a tournament where even elite programs can face multiple high-quality opponents in compressed scheduling windows, can be the difference between a manageable route to the championship round and a brutal gauntlet that exhausts pitching staffs before the knockout stages even begin. Japan's coaching staff is acutely aware of this reality. A dominant opening win tonight against Taiwan does several things simultaneously. It secures 2 crucial points in pool standings. It establishes psychological momentum within the Japan camp. It sends a message to every other team monitoring tonight's result. And perhaps most importantly, it allows Kuriyama to manage his pitching resources with confidence over the remaining pool games rather than from a position of scoreboard pressure. A loss tonight, conversely, creates none of those advantages and all of their opposites. It compresses Japan's margin for error. It shifts the psychological atmosphere inside the camp. And it gives every subsequent pool opponent additional motivation and belief. This is why tonight is not a formality. This is why Taiwan deserves and demands complete respect. And this is why Samurai Japan's coaching staff has prepared for this specific game with the same intensity they would bring to an elimination match in the championship round. Across Japan tonight, the scenes are familiar and wonderful. Restaurants and bars packed with fans in blue and white uniforms. Families gathered around television screens that have been the backdrop for so many memorable Samurai Japan moments over the years. Children staying up past their bedtimes because their parents understand that some experiences are worth the tired morning that follows. Japan's relationship with the WBC is unique in international sports. This tournament is not simply a baseball event in Japan. It is a national occasion, a shared cultural experience that cuts across generations, regions, and backgrounds to unite an entire country around a common hope. And tonight, that hope takes the field. Yamamoto on the mound, Otani in the lineup, Samurai Japan wearing their championship as a target rather than a shield, because defending champions who fear being challenged are not really champions at all. Taiwan is ready. The stage is set. The 2026 World Baseball Classic has finally, gloriously arrived. And Samurai Japan has only one acceptable answer to everything tonight demands from them. Win. Dominate. Remind the world why they are defending champions. The first pitch is hours away. The journey toward a second consecutive WBC championship begins right now.